Alright guys, I'm back with a new video, and for this video, I'm going to summarize this given chapter, which is the chapter 10. So let's proceed. So the application layer. The application layer is the closest to the end user. So it is the layer that provides the interface between the application used to communicate and the underlying network over which messages are transmitted. Presentation and session layer. The presentation layer, so it's formatting or this representation layer has three primary functions. One is the formatting or presenting data at the source devices into compatible form of received by the destination device. Second is the compressing data in a way that can be decompressed by the destination device. Last is the encrypting data for transmission and decrypting data upon receipt. So the presentation layer formats data for the application layer, and it sets standards for the formats. Some well-known standards for video includes QuickTime and Motion Picture Expert Group, or the MPEG. So Photographic Expert Group, the JPEG, and the Portable Network Graphics, or the PNG format. TCP/IP Application Layer Protocol. The TCP/IP application protocol specify the format and control information necessary for many common internet communication functions. So application layer protocols are used by the source destination device during the communication session. For the communication to be successful, the application layer protocols are implemented on the source and destination host must be compatible. Client-server model. So in the client-server model, the device requesting the information is called the client, and the device responding to the request is called the server. Client and the server process are considered to be the application layer. The client begins the exchange by requesting data from the server, which responds by sending one or more streams of data to the client. Application layer protocols describe the format of the request and response between the clients and the servers. In addition, the actual data transfer this exchange may also require user authentication and the identification of the data file to be transferred. Peer-to-peer network. The peer-to-peer or the P2P networking model, the data is accessed from the peer devices without the use of dedicated server. The P2P network involves the two parts, P2P network and P2P application. Both parts have similar features, but in practice work widely different. In P2P network, two or more computers are connected via network and can share resources such as printers, and files without having dedicated server. So every connected end device is known as a peer, can function as both server and client. One computer might assume the role of one server for the one transaction while simultaneously serving as a client for another. The roles of client and the server are set on a per request basis. A simple example of P2P network is an addition of the sharing files, a sharing network such as one would allow user to enable network games for shared internet connection. The common P2P applications. With P2P applications, each computer in the network running application can act as a client or a server for the other computers in the network running application. Common P2P networks include eDonkey, the G2, BitTorrent, and the Bitcoin. Hypertext Transfer Protocol and the Hypertext Markup Language. So When a web address or uniform resources locator or the URL is typed into the web browser establishes connection to the web services running on the server using the HTTP protocol. URLs and uniform resources identifiers are the same most people associate with the web addresses. Email protocols. One of the primary services offered by an ISP is email hosting. To run on a computer or other end devices, email requires several applications and services. Email is stored and forward method of sending, storing, and retrieving electronic messages across a network. Email messages are stored in database on email servers. Email client communicate with the mail server to send and receive email. Mail servers and communicate with other mail servers to transport messages from one domain to another. The STMP operation. SMTP format requires a message header and the message body. While the message body can contain any amount of text, the message header must have properly formatted recipient email address and a sender address. The POP operation. POP is used when application to retrieve mail from a mail server with POP. Mail is downloaded from the server to the client and then deleted on the server. This is how POP operates by default. So the server starts the POP service, pass, possibly listening on TCP port 110 for client connection request. When a client wants to make use of the service, it sends request establishment to TCP connection with the server when commands and responses until the connection is closed or aborted. The IMAP operation. IMAP is another protocol that describes a method to retrieve email messages unlike POP. When the user connects to an IMAP capable server, copies of the messages are downloaded to the client application. The original message are kept on the server until manually deleted. User view copies of the messages in their email client software. So the domain name service in data network devices are labeled with the numeric IP addresses to send and receive data over networks. Domain names were created to convert the numeric addresses into a simple recognizable name. On the internet, these domain names such as http://www.cisco.com are much easier for people to remember than 198.133.219.25, which is the actual numeric addresses for this server. So the DNS message format. The DNS server stores different types of resources records used to resolve names. These records contain the name, address, and type of record. Some of these record types are the A R stands for the unend devices, IPv for address, the NS or unauthoritative name server, the 4A unend devices IPv6 addresses pronounced as quad A. So the MX, a mail exchange record. The DNS hierarchy. The DNS protocol uses hierarchical system to create database to provide name resolution. The hierarchy looks like an inverted tree with the root of at the top and branches below. DNS uses domain names to form the hierarchy. The NS lookup command. The NS lookup command. So when configuring the network devices, one or more DNS server addresses are provided that the DNS client Can use for name resolution. Uh, Usually, the internet service provider provides the addresses to use for the DNS servers. The dynamic host configuration protocol. Dynamic host configuration protocol for the IPv4 service automates the assignment of the IPv4 addresses, subnet mask, gateway, and other MPv4 networking parameters. The DHCP operation. So it is configured devices boots for connects to the network. The client broadcasts a DHCP discovers messages to identify any available DHCP servers on the network. The file transfer protocol is another commonly used application layer protocol. So it was developed to allow for data transfer between a client and the several server. The server message block. The server message block, or the SMB, is a client-server file sharing protocol that describes the structure of shareable network resources such as the directories, files, printers, and serial ports. So that's all for this given chapter. I hope you like it and thank you for watching.